right in. This is being recorded, so all of this will be available on our YouTube channel tomorrow. Want to welcome everybody. I think I know everybody on this call. My name is Michael Rapaski. I'm the CEO and team leader of Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, and very excited to be in a position to help our agents find opportunities on teams and also help our teams grow with some outstanding agents. Before we dive into everything, I just want to flash up the June calendar. We've got a lot of great events coming up in June. I'm going to drop in the chat. One that is not on there is next week's Black Realtor Network meet and greets in at Topgolf in Independence. So that is on the 7th, 6 p.m. So you can grab that link right now. And then as always, we have our Wealth Mastermind happening monthly and a lot of other great things like our Investor Mastermind the following week, and then some CE towards the end of the month. Did want to call out, there's the information for the Topgolf event next week on the 7th. That's 1 week from today. And then on Tuesday of next week, we are having an in-person sales meeting in Pepper Pike at 9:30 a.m. Ryan DeLuca will be going through the strategies and tactics that he uses to win expired listings and to be an expert in expired. So if you are interested in that or any other updates from Market Center and mixing and mingling with all the other agents inside of Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan, please join us 9:30 a.m. in Pepper Pike and let us know you're coming. I got a link in the chat for that as well. All right, we're going to go ahead, and dive in here. Real quick reminder who we are as a company. Keller Williams is the largest real estate company that the world has ever known. We have been around on the international level for 40 years. And we've been here in Cleveland for the last 20 years. Actually, last year, we celebrated our 20-year anniversary in Cleveland, Ohio. Our office founded 20 years ago last November. Very excited to say that Keller Williams is the largest real estate company worldwide. They have the most agents, close the most units, do the most volume. They've created more millionaires than Microsoft. And here locally, we follow suit. We are number one in nearly every category in our MLS and have been for years. We are the top ranked Keller Williams office in the world for profitability. And a lot of what drives that is the success and good models run by our real estate teams. So when we think about opportunities for someone to have a career in real estate, we know that being a part of a great real estate team can really make the difference in their success. Before we dive into how teams work, I want to just break down how different brokerage models work and what that history looked like. So in the modern era of the real estate industry, up until about 50 years ago, everything ran as a dependent model, which was broker at the top, investing money in advertising and office space and staff and things of that nature. And then agents acted as independent contractors, but more like employees. They had more of an employee-employer relationship with the brokerage. Financial gain, split pretty favorably towards the broker. They are making the investments, they're recouping the fruits of their labors. And then agents found themselves in this traditional or dependent model, fewer wealth creation opportunities. Along came the independent model, which really stripped away a lot of the accoutrement and things that dependent brokerages provided, whether it was marketing and advertising or office space or any of those things. They said, hey, we're just going to take as little of your commission as possible. Focus primarily on experienced or end of career agents who were just trying to get as much out of the transaction as they could. And this agents are assuming, because there's little upside for the broker, agents are assuming most of the financial, legal, and management responsibilities. And then along comes the Keller-Williams model, which is the interdependent model. In the 1980s, this formed where Gary Keller sat down with 13 of his top agents and said, hey, how do we make a real estate company that no one would ever want to or have to leave? And that is what we ended up with today, where agents and the broker or agents and the company at large have mutually shared interests. They work together in collaborative ways inside of our culture to achieve goals. And then there is a sharing of the financial, legal, and management responsibilities and risks. And so up until about 5 years ago, the interdependent model was fairly revolutionary, 15 years ago, probably. And then we started to see that, hey, the brokerage of the future that is going to be very successful and is going to be the one to serve agents at the highest level is going to be the one that satisfies in some way, shape, or form all three of these models, right? That's how we get into business with the best people who can want different things out of a career in real estate and can take advantage of the opportunities that are provided, whether it be, not even from the local office. When you think about the independent, a lot of people are heavily plugged into Keller-Williams at the regional and national levels, right? The interdependent model is what many of you experience as a part of the local culture, as a part of our coaching programs, attending our trainings, having mentors in the office. And the dependent model is really represented by teams, right? And I always stress that, not everyone wants to be a team owner. Not everybody wants to be a $10 million agent. Some people want their career in real estate to be just that, a career. And I think that what we're going to talk about is everything that a team offers, but a team can offer stability and accountability and support that help you really become established and maximize your opportunity through a career in real estate. So before we dive into all the things that team offer, hey, what exactly is a team? It starts with a rainmaker, right? So that means that there is an agent or a top producer that has an abundance of business. They've found the way to generate the leads, clean the leads, work the leads, and ultimately do a lot of business. And then they start to leverage, right? They start to look for ways to force multiply their business, right? Oh my gosh, I've got too many leads. I've got too many people in my pipeline. What should I do next? And usually it comes down to I've got too much paperwork going on. Well, the first thing that every rainmaker and team owner should do is add administrative support. This is the greatest value that a team owner can provide to their agents and also to themselves is strong administrative support. This is a highly leverageable element and something that draws a lot of attraction from agents that may not want to manage their database, may not want to do their paperwork, may not want to figure out how to win each day, and otherwise would like to be told and coached in how to do it. And then finally, the team agents start to get added to the real estate team that the rainmaker is building. It's interesting because, you don't have to have, 5 buyer's agents, or you don't have to have 5 agents on your team to be a team, right? You can be a team with a transaction coordinator and an administrative assistant, and then start adding agents. Actually, that's the model that Gary Keller identified and built for our agents and for the entire real estate industry, such that he has the opportunity, or anyone would have the opportunity, to create a leverageable, repeatable, and scalable real estate opportunity for someone else to plug into. So if you're on this call, it's very likely that you're considering or at least exploring options on teams. And so when you're looking at that, you want to understand that team's value proposition. What is the administrative support that's offered? What is the opportunity in the culture for additional training and coaching? What's it like to be on that team? And then also what is provided in terms of leads and opportunities. So what are some of the things that are potential benefits of a team? And this is a high level boilerplate approach. And I want anyone here who is going to engage in the opportunity to explore teams, you're going to have the chance to meet with multiple teams in the process. And it's really important that you understand what is the unique value proposition of all the teams that are out there that you might be interested in. Some of them are going to provide a lot of leads. Some of them are going to provide a lot of support for you to generate your own leads. Some are going to be heavily invested in marketing. Some are going to leverage experience in the industry for mentorship, and a blend of all of these things, right? So there is no right or wrong way to structure this for an individual team. It is based on the personality and the unique value proposition of the rainmaker. It's also informed by the market of the moment. And there is a lot of opportunity for anybody to find the team that also fits them. So I'm going to drop in the chat now, and then also again later an interest form. So if you're interested in learning more about teams, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to fill out this form. And what that form is really driving at is getting an understanding of, hey, what do you feel like you need from a team? What is your availability? Where do you feel like the opportunity is? And what is the commitment that you're interested in making as a part of a real estate team? And because we have so many teams, we can actually match agents with teams that are more likely to have a profile fit. So just know as we look at opportunities for agents on our teams, it's not, hey, this team will take anybody, or oh, we know this person needs agents. The goal here is always for the agent to find success. And so if you know, hey, I feel like I got the leads down, it's just I really need hands-on mentorship and administrative support to really help me get these across the finish line, that's going to look different. You're going to want to be a part of a team that has a different value proposition and secret sauce. But these are just a few of the things that you will see consistently popping up in the value proposition for teams. And you should measure them and weigh them all differently. You heard me mention a lot about the teams that we have here at Keller Williams. And so we have some of the top teams, not only in the area or in our region, but in the state of Ohio and throughout the country. And so know that in this team building is something we take very seriously as an organization. It's something that we support our rainmakers and getting together, getting exposure to top talent, to other individuals, to other ideas, so that they're creating an environment that is truly one that people can succeed in. So what do you do if you are trying to figure out if a team is right for you? And by no means does exploring a team mean you have to join one. You can decide that it's not right for you right now, and a year from now decide that a team might be a good fit, or join a team and identify that after a few years that it might not no longer be a fit. So we are going to support you in being successful at any stage in your career. So the first things you want to consider is like, hey, what's the level of accountability that I want, or that I'm willing to participate in to be successful, right? And so for some folks, they got into real estate because they didn't want to have a boss, right? They didn't want to have a boss. And I warn you, sometimes when you show up on a real estate team, it can feel like you have a boss again. So if the level of accountability that you're looking for, if you came here because you said, hey, listen, if I have a boss one more time in my life, I'm going to lose my mind. Maybe flirt with teams that have low levels of accountability. Or maybe you're somebody who's like, hey, look, I thrive in accountable environments. I need somebody who is going to be, where do I need to be? When do I need to be there? What do I need to do? How do I need to say it? What do I need to say? What's your current availability, right? You're going to want to be honest with yourself and with anybody that you interview as with respect to a team. Are you currently dual career? Have you just gone full time? Do you have parents or children that you have to be concerned about or caring for? Like, what is your availability to engage in the practice of real estate? And then we're going to have you do an assessment. It's called the Keller Personality Assessment as a part of this, and it's going to help you identify your strengths. Hey, what do I have a natural inclination for? Is it finding leads? Do I have a sales background? Am I a good negotiator? Do I have a really big sphere? Do you have kids that play a bunch of sports and you're always getting referrals and in conversation with all the other moms and dads on the sidelines. What are your strengths? And then what are you currently most anxious about, or what have you found to be the biggest difficulty with the business? Is it, hey, listen, I get it. I understand how to do real estate transactions. I just don't have enough leads to do them. Or, hey, listen, is the accountability. I know that I get to be my own boss, but it turns out I'm not a very good boss, right? Or is it, hey, I just want somebody to help with the paperwork and to throw me a bone every once in a while. Then you'll start to understand, how does that line up with value propositions of real estate teams? We'll match you with a few, and we'll start the interview process. So understand, when we think about the time commitments here, they're also going to be different on various teams. They're going to be pretty strongly correlated with what is offered on those teams in terms of lead and support and things of that nature. But the more flexible or more freedom they allow, there might be an equivalent less of support or leads or administrative effort or things of that nature. Know that, why did you get into real estate is an important thing to consider. I always say there are three big levers that people pull when they come into real estate, or things that they're drawn to. One, it's freedom. I don't want to have a boss. I don't want to have anything tying me down. I want to make my own schedule and do things my own way. Flexibility. Hey, listen, I'm cool with doing work. I just don't want to do it from an office, or I want to do it on my terms at my time. I want to be there when my kids get off the bus at 3 o'clock. And then there's the financial gain. Just know that you are in the real estate realm. Very often you are trading freedom and flexibility for financial gain, or flexibility for freedom and financial gain at the same time, financial gain for freedom and flexibility. Just and understand how the expectations of everything else in your life, what that'll be on your team, will also drive those. There is a lot of opportunity to maximize, I choose to believe, maximize all three, not only as an individual agent, but also as a team agent inside of our company. Another thing that everyone is always interested in is, hey, how does the money work, right? So I want to be real clear. Every team that you talk to, everyone that you interview, will have some different split structure. It is, however, very likely that it'll be somewhere around 50-50. It'll be about a 50-50 split with you and the rainmaker or the owner of that team. So this is an example of a $10,000 commission. It gets split 50-50 with you and the rainmaker, and then subsequent splits with the brokerage happen afterwards. You are also, as a team agent, as on the next slide, you can see you are subject to a lower cap. Your cap will be somewhere between $5,000 and $9,000 instead of $18,000. Depending on the size of the team, it'll be between 5 and 9. I want to go back to this slide just so you understand. Yes, you have a split with the rainmaker at the top and still a split with the brokerage, but you have a less of a premium to pay to the brokerage as a result of being on the team. And also, before anyone thinks like, oh my God, I would never join a team because the rainmaker's taking half my commission right away. Well, keep in mind, go back to that those squares that we had of what the value proposition is. Are they providing you mentorship and support, administrative staff? Are they working your database, providing you leads, holding you accountable, right? I can tell you that for many teams, if you're an agent on that team, what you clear from the deal is what you clear from the deal. That rainmaker still has to pay salaries and marketing budgets and office bills and print costs and everything else under the sun to run the business. And they're getting an equal share to run the business with, when you've gotten an equal share to go execute the business. There's a reason that we see a lot of teams around this 50-50 split mark, because it's the one that allows for a win-win, which is something you'll always hear as a big part of our culture, is creating those opportunities for a win-win. And just a reminder, I know we have some newer agents on the call. The cap is what you pay into the brokerage. It's the maximum. And then once you're done paying that, you will stop paying it until your anniversary with the company. Now, please note that an individual agent has a cap of $18,000 to the local market center and then $3,000 to our international office. Team agents will have that reduced somewhere between $5,000 and $9,000 to local office and still $3,000 to the international office. So how do you join a team? Well, you express interest in the market center, right? You show up to stuff like this. I just put in the chat again, and we will send out as follow-up the interest form on how to fill out an interest form, how to indicate interest in real estate teams, and then you'll complete a Keller personality assessment. This is a behavioral assessment that qualifies you, measures you across 10 different variables. It is not, a psychology test. It is not a test that tells us you're going to be a good agent or a bad agent. It just helps the team that may eventually interview you understand who you are a little bit better, and they'll use it as a tool in the interview process. So then we're going to match you with a few real estate teams. We're going to say, hey, these 3 teams are hiring and can accommodate you in terms of your needs. And then from that point on, it is between you and the team, right? We are not involved in who joins what team or what those teams offer. Those teams are independent businesses inside of our total company. And so everyone is able to make the decisions that they need to there. But that is the simple process that allows us to make sure that you're getting maximum exposure in this process to join teams. If you ever are on a team and you're leaving, you decide you're going to leave the team because some folks decide that later on, not many, but some folks do. You just let the rainmaker, let your team owner know, let the market center know. And then we'll plug you into other options and opportunities. It could be other teams. It could be opportunities in coaching. It could be additional training as a solo agent. And then you just get the ongoing support from the market center. It is important to know that, if you're on a team and you land $1 million contract, anything that's pended while you're on the team closes out as though you were on the team, even if you leave the team. So you can't pop on and off of teams to once you get really sweet deals. You probably wouldn't last very long if you were doing that anyway. But just know this is always an important consideration as people start to consider teams. Hey, what does it look like if it doesn't work out? There's no hard feelings. Sometimes it's not a match. Sometimes life doesn't look like we thought it would. Our goal is a market center, and I promise you, every rainmaker and every team owner and everybody in this company, our goal is to help people find success in real estate. That success comes down to, how do you get more deals under contract and really learn this industry? And if it's on a team, great. If it's in coaching, great. If it's an individual agent plugging into training, great. We want all of those things. So fill out the agent interest form, the tab, the link that is in the chat. And then once we have that, we will send you the Keller personality assessment. You'll complete that, and then we'll make introductions to teams. What questions does everyone have about teams and opportunities on teams inside of our company?
I have a question. This is India. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's up, India?
Okay, sorry. So say we go through the whole process, we fill out the form and we interview the teams, but we don't necessarily feel like we're vibing with any of the teams, but we are still interested in some type of mentorship. Is that something that's still possible?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, if you check out teams and you're like, hey, you know what, not for me, but I would really like to, have a relationship with some more experienced agents. There's definitely ways that we can facilitate that. A few ways, listen, how would you find a mentor in any other industry, right? Show up to industry events, show up to meetings at the office, be at the in-person sales meetings, introduce yourself, ask people for help, ask for help on the Facebook group, see who responds, find yourself somebody who, I can facilitate this, but again, then it's, there's always risk of me playing matchmaker. which is, always risky. But the idea is, hey, if we show up, come to the office, you will find people who, one, will help you, mentor you. You can build relationships with, build friendships with, do deals with. And that's a really great way to do that. But, just because you go through this process, India, doesn't mean that you have to join a team.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. Is everyone seeing my screen all right? I guess I should ask that too.
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, can I interrupt real quick? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Who? Lakita?
Yeah, I'm glad that we had this Zoom meeting because I was figuring out if I wanted to be on a team or not. But I think I may be struggling more with like one aspect, like marketing. I need somebody to help me like with my marketing and stuff because I'm not like a Facebooker or Instagram, you know what I mean? That type of content. I need someone to like help me with that, to let me focus on other things because I do have other lead generation. I talk to a lot of people. I'm a full-time Lyft driver, so I have those conversations. But I think I may be more. I would need someone to help me with just my marketing and keeping up with those things. Because I don't post, things like that.
Yeah, I would encourage you. I'm gonna
virtual assistant.
Yeah, and I would encourage you. We have a philosophy here as a company that we lead with revenue, right? So don't go hire a personal assistant before you close your first deal. But I would say, if you can see what's on my screen right now, when it comes to certain elements of marketing, we can provide that as a market center with minimal cost, right? That way you don't have to hire a full-time person to work your social media. If you just need, hey, I need some social media pieces for this new listing that I took. I need all the stuff that I need to run a perfect open house, right? I want to do my logo design, whatever it is that's marketing, right? It can be really intimidating. It can be really expensive. And at the same time, it doesn't have to be. And then as you grow your business, you may want somebody to do that full time. But I would discourage you from looking at that right out of the gate, and know that we can still help solve that problem as a company. So I'm going to put it in the chat. It's 297agent.com. That's our agent resource website. And it's /the leverage center. So go ahead and check that out, because that's a great way. Like, hey, maybe I need some help. I need some transaction coordination. I need some help with command. I need some help with my buyer presentation. But, I don't want to join a team just for that. Or, hey, maybe you find out like, hey, even with that help, I still need a lot more help. Maybe a team is the right thing for me, right? There's no right or wrong with respect to any of that. Great questions. What else do we have, guys?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the objection, as far as if a person is like with the interest rates right now, like with the rebuttal or going back and forth, we with COVID, it was one thing and now it's something else. Like, can you give me like an example of how to handle a situation when people are talking about higher interest rates right now, even though they're only 6% or so, but like, how can I approach that?
Yeah, I think if you're talking to buyers about interest rates, there's a few things that are really important. One, interest rates are at or around their historical average, right? So one of the tough things about interest rates is that they were low and now they feel high, but they're not high. They're actually just average. And even with interest rates where they are, affordability is still better than it was 25 years ago, late 80s, early 90s, because the cost of money is cheaper now than it was then. It is a good time to buy. We still expect interest rates to improve over the next few years. And so the other opportunity is you're not taking out a 30-year loan for a home that is, or excuse me, you're not taking out a loan on a home that you're actually going to pay that rate for 30 years. The opportunity to refinance in the future when the rates improve, when they get into the 5s, when they get into the 4s, that will be a great opportunity that we will have at some point in the future. But what would you rather do? Like, so we've been hanging out. This is what I would tell my clients. I'd say we've been hanging out in the 6s for a while. And the opportunity that that presents is the longer interest rates stay where they are, right? Or they stay in the same spot, the more the market has the opportunity to adjust to it. So as interest rates went up, prices stabilized. You're not seeing like, 2 and 3 years ago where prices were going through the roof. They're still high, but they're stable because the interest rate's stable and the market has come in line with that. So what would you rather do? Buy at 6% or wait and buy at 7 if it goes to 7? Because somebody who bought at 5.5% last August, they look like a genius right now. Instead of waiting for the rates to come down, you lock them in where they're at. If they do go down, you refinance. Like, one of the beautiful things about mortgage financing is that the advantage always sits with the consumer. If you, whatever rate you lock in, you can refinance later on, right? And if rates go through the roof, well, that's what everybody's sitting around with 3 and 4% interest rates is thinking. Well, I don't need to buy or sell right now. I've got a great rate. Well, guess what? If interest rates go to 9%, you're going to feel like you got a damn good rate at 6.5.
Right. Okay.
Mike, I have a question. This is
Yeah.
Stephanie Harris. Hi, how are
Stephanie,
you?
how are you?
Hey, good. So, for a brand new agent, I'm brand new agent, a few weeks out, and I met with the team, and they sound great, but I still am kind of torn with, do I try it on my own or do I go with a team? I'm sitting here going back and forth. So, would it, for a new agent, if they're leaning towards a team, would you have them just do that, or I'm like, maybe I should try it 6 months on my own and see what I can do on my own first?
Yeah, it's always so interesting. Sometimes when people ask for advice, it feels like they're looking for an accomplice, right? And so I always say, listen, the most important thing to know if you're considering joining a team is yourself, right? Like, I think that here's my belief. There are few and far between are the people who won't be successful if you show up in the office 3 days a week and have anywhere from 10 to 15 real estate related conversations every day with people you either know or don't know. You will find opportunities in real estate. You will find success in real estate. I promise you, like, there are, joining a team because that's business now, or it's deals now, or it feels like it'll be more hands-on training. Those things could be true, right? But it's not an easy button, right? If it was, we'd force people to be on teams. We know that teams are the right fit for the people they're the right fit for. And that's why we don't have but one team, right? That's why we have 30 different teams that are all representing real estate in different ways and strategize and support their agents in different ways. If you and when in doubt, I think that there's nothing wrong with getting some experience as an individual agent. And if you're, hey, I did a deal, it was hell, I really want to have help and I want to be on a team. That's great. Now right? Or if you do 6 months and you're like, wow, like I got this, I get this, great. And and then 12 or 15 or 18 months from now, you could say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'd be on a team and really take off. We see experienced agents join teams. Like, it's not a new agent thing. It's not a, oh, I can't figure out the business thing. Like, why you would join a team is so that you can have more freedom, flexibility, or financial opportunity. And it's the same reason you'd be an individual agent. So when we really get to know ourselves in the process, when we really start to understand, well, what am I willing to do? How am I willing to do it? What's the best way for me to get there? Then the answer becomes apparent, in my opinion. And I think it's something that you can, I know that you're new as of last week. And I think that, probably if you haven't made it to one of Eric's coachings yet, or haven't had your one-on-one with him, you will soon. And I think it's something to bring up to him, because, Eric is a great coach and someone who is not shy of saying like, hey, yeah, I think the world for you looks best on a team. Or he might say, hey, listen, with your background and your experience and your database or your sphere of influence, like, you're going to get this, right? And then that's great. We want to protect both those opportunities for all our agents. So that's a
All right.
very long answer to a short question. but-
No, that you know what, that really helped a lot. Thank you, because I have not met one-on-one yet with Eric.
Okay.
So I will kind of leave that. We'll have that conversation. So thank
Okay.
you. That helps. Yeah.
And
What else?
also make sure you have all your questions down for Eric, because it's going to be a conversation and he really wants to know about you. So have those questions available so that he's able to help you. Because
Okay.
I was just I think it might have been a month ago when I just started. I got my license April 6th. So just any questions that you have for him, have them available at that one-on-one meeting, I would suggest.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. Anything else? Anything else from the crew? And look, there's no, if we hop off here, obviously we're going to follow up. We're going to, if you didn't get the link out of the chat, we'll make sure that gets to everybody. And we will also, make sure that we'll be with you every step along the way. And if you decide tonight, like, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait on the team. And then 6 weeks from now, you're like, hey, I kind of want to check that out. Like, this isn't a, doors open, doors closed, sort of like no other opportunities after you do this. And, at any time we will help you. I promise you that.